Tonight, we're risking it all, playing high-stakes poker with the Buffalo Bills. Gabe Davis and Dalton Kincaid invited us for some 5, 10, 25 with the team. We're starting out with a modest $2,000, but spoiler alert, we spin up our stack to over 5 figures. We make quads not once, but twice in this session alone. But before we start, how can we not first go see the Bills play a division rival, the New York Jets? They absolutely smoked them 32-6, and Marsh and I were loving life. To celebrate the win, we head over to Gabe's house, who literally has a full poker table in his living room. I see where these player bonuses have been going, my fellow degenerates. As I'm getting settled in and meeting the guys, there's no time to waste. We end up flopping 3 of a kind in a single raised pot and lure in 2 unsuspecting customers. Our 2 callers are number 79 Spencer Brown and star tight end Dawson Knox, number 88. The 5 of spades peels off on the turn and Dawson leads out into us for 225. I debate raising here, but ultimately just put in the 225. Spencer's out of the way and we're off to the river, which brings in the front door flush. Dawson now slows down and checks. Seems a little bit scared by this river card, so I don't want to go too large, but I'm definitely not checking behind. You didn't like that river, huh? I place a bet out there and he pretty much snap calls me with just 1 pip below me, king deuce offsuit. Yes, your favorite tight end is playing that hand, and your favorite vlogger here taking down the $1,600 pot.
Hey, this guy, the robot.
It's told me to go home.
Beep boop bop. I should have folded.
In hand number 2, I end up making quads with pocket 9s, but unfortunately everyone folds their hand. I haven't been skipping leg day though. This isn't the only time this session I hit quads. Stay tuned to the end for that crazy hand versus Gabe.
Show Spence.
Yo, this is your hand.
Show Spence.
Yeah, look at the flop. Look at the flop.
I'm a good guy.
Speaking of Gabe, he makes an appearance in this next hand when he raises it up to $35 from the hijack. 2 hooligans put in the call and I decide to 3-bet him to 225 with the beautiful 7 deuce offsuit. It's $25 a pop if I get this through, so I size up here and make it large. Hopefully everybody folds. Is that what happens? Absolutely not. Gabe puts in the call and Dawson Knox puts in the call as well. We are going off 3 ways to a flop. On a queen jack 10 board, I decide to stab one time for $200. Hopefully that gets everyone to fold, but unfortunately they both put in the call. The king of diamonds on the turn brings in a 4-liner to the straight, so I'm going to shut down now and check. Everyone checks it through, bringing in a board pairing 10 of clubs on the river. When everyone checks the turn, this seems like a good spot to go for a bluff. After all, I just have 7 high, and I fire out for $500 into the field. Gabe Davis is an expert at catching punts. He puts in the call. Someone call John Stamos because I see a full house.
What a river.
The next hand picks up on the flop. Top pair is pretty great, so when it checks over to me, I go for a small bet. Dalton doesn't even look old enough to play poker, let alone be the starting tight end of the Bills, but that doesn't stop him from finding himself at this table and puts in the call. Dawson's in there as well, and somehow I found myself in the 3-way with 2 tight ends, and the turn makes me want to. I fire out small because size doesn't matter, and Dawson agrees and puts in the call. The river shouldn't change much, so I bet large for value now, and Dawson's done with the hand, and I can proudly say I came out on top. There's so much to board just for a second when I'm in it. We then make trip aces and get cocky and just show the 8 of diamonds that has no connectivity on the board whatsoever. We then pick up ace 9 of clubs from the big blind. The $25 button straddles on and Gabe raises it up to 100. A bunch of people put in the call and I do as well. Really great to call here with a suited ace. Can flop the nuts and stack some opponents, and that's definitely the intentions I have in this hand. If I could pick any board, 10, 9, 8 with 2 clubs would definitely be up there. And now Tyler, the starting linebacker, number 44 on the Bills, bets out for $15, and this is a very suspicious block bet. Gonna play tricky here and raise it up to $30, opening the door for anyone else to get a little bit crazy. Herb, the cornerback, puts in the call for 30, bringing in Gabe and Tyler. We're going off 4 ways to the turn now, which comes the 4 of spades. And the big funny guy, Tyler, bets out for $15 once again. Well, I can be funny too. I raise him up to 30, and that brings in Herb, Gabe, and Tyler. We are going 5 ways to the river, which comes the 3 of hearts. Obviously the front door spades don't get there, but we have a pair, and maybe I can get someone off a 10 at this point. So when Tyler checks it over to me, am I value betting? Am I bluffing? Who knows? I fire out for $350, and that ends up clearing the field.
Shit, man!
You have me beat?
Pocket sixes. No, you had me beat. I was chasing.
Alright Wolfpack, it's Marsh taking over for a hand. Wolf stepped away to grab some footage for the video. In the meantime, I sat down with his full permission to punt his stack. We have King Queen on a flop here. We flop top 2. Absolute banger of a flop. When Dalton bets 50 into 210 and Dawson flats, it's the perfect opportunity for me to raise it to 225. That's right boys, we are here to play some poker. They both put in the call. The turn pairs the board. Things are getting interesting as Dalton now jams his entire stack. Dawson gets out of the way. Didn't expect to play a big one here, but I'm not shying away. I give Wolf the nod that I'm putting his money in here.
All in, huh? Dude, it's not even your money. Wolf, I love you, brother.
I put in the call. Dalton shows King Jack. We can chop here though with any king or a deuce.
Deuce or king.
Deuce. King.
But a 7 comes, we scoop that $2,100 pot and we make some money for the boy. Let's go!
Alright, back to your regular scheduled programming. I move seats across the table, pick up Jack 8 of clubs, make it $50 to go, and we are going 7 ways to the flop. Flopping ourselves a flush draw on an ace 7-5 with 2 club board seems pretty great, so I stab for $100. Tyler and Dawson both put in the call, and a new face on the vlog here. Sam Martin, the starting punter, puts in the call as well, and we see the 9 of diamonds on the turn. Bang! We turn the flush. I'm obviously way too excited that I hit the flush, and I show it to Dalton on my right. I fire out for $300, and luckily Dawson doesn't pick up that tell and puts in the call, leading us off to the jack of diamonds on the river. What do you got back there, Mr. Knox? I look over at Dawson's stack. He only has around 1,100 behind, less than a pot-sized bet, so it's all going in the middle.
I call. You got the flush?
I do, Mr. Knox.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 9.
Shit!
What happened to home field advantage? The away team comes in and scoops in a $3,600 pot.
Wow.
In this next hand, we find ourselves in some friendly fire versus our buddy Marsh. He makes it 50 from under the gun, and I 3-bet him with the second best hand ever created.
It looks like there's some friendly fire going on here.
Gabe Davis wants to join the party, and from the cutoff, he 4-bets to 425, a very strong play.
Wolfie, I was really kind of excited to play against you. Heads up, but
No, you weren't.
oh, I was, especially with that.
Marsh sniffs this out and folds his cards. Action's back over to me. Do I want a 5-bet? Do I want a flat call? In this spot, I decide to give him some rope and just put in the call. Off to a flop we go. I check and flow over to Gabe, and he snap checks behind, bringing in the 8 of spades on the turn. I think he's going to stab on the turn here at a high frequency, but just like he did for his fantasy football owners this week, he lets us down and checks behind on the turn, bringing in the ace of diamonds on the river. I'm going to go for a small blocker bet. If he raises here, he obviously has an ace, but a small bet is great because I can still get paid off versus queens, jacks, and 10s.
Oh, who got the flush?
What?
If anyone has a flush, I'm not playing her again.
And that's not what happens. He decides to raise me up to $750.
Whoa, okay. Nobody moved. Jim, stop counting the money. Everyone's free.
This is going to the vlog.
I should have bet the turn.
The gig is up. I fold my cards, and he kindly exposes ace king offsuit to the table and is getting rewarded with that $1,900 pot. In this next hand, Dalton rips it all in with a flopped 7 high flush, but bad news for him, we have the queen high flush, and we're going to get it in 3 ways, and the Rocket is the 3rd player in this hand. He ends up having ace queen offsuit with the ace of clubs, and let's see what the run out brings in.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't help. The only thing that helps now is...
Who invited this guy, dude? Only plays the nuts. He only plays the nuts.
Damn.
Fuck, dog.
I ended up making some custom merch as a gift for the players inviting me to the game. I want to give you guys the opportunity to get one as well. I have a few of these premium ones left, and then I put up a more affordable option on my website as well. The link for all that is down in the description, but it'll only be up for the next week, so act fast if you'd like to get one.
You get something out of it. Bang! We got a straddle
40, I put that on for him. Got 80. I'm probably the poorest person at this table, but that doesn't stop me from putting out the $20 and $40 straddles for my neighbors. That lets me put the $80 straddle out there, and Tyler puts in the call. Spencer makes it $200 to go, and if you think I'm folding 7 deuce suited, another chance here to win a bounty, you would be mistaken. I put in the call, and Tyler comes in along as well. We're off to a flop which comes 6-4 deuce with 1 heart. Bottom pair and some backdoor draws is all I've got. I check it in flow, and Tyler fires out for 75 bones. Spencer puts in the call, and I'm coming in as well with my pair.
Not folding.
Off the turn we go, which comes the 9 of clubs. Not a great card. I check it over to Tyler, and he's done with all this slow playing. He jams it all in for $1,100, and Spencer puts in the call. Nothing for me to do other than fold. If Spencer was to fold, however, maybe I could have found a hero call with bottom pair. And now let's run it out and see if 7 deuce was in fact the best hand.
Come on, one time.
Oh my god.
3.
I was ahead! I was ahead! I win this question.
Not a thing.
I thought you got 8-4. What'd you have?
7 deuce!
Professional call.
7 deuce! Our stack is ballooned up to $8,500, and picking up premiums like Ace King offsuit is definitely going to help it continue to go in the right direction. I find myself on the button and a bunch of limps in front of me. I make it $75 to go, and 5 of those limpers put in the call, leading us off to an atrocious flop which comes 7-6 deuce with 2 clubs. When it checks to me, I'm not going to be foolish and put more money in the middle with ace high. I check it behind, bringing in the 5 of clubs on the turn. However, now when the action checks to me for a second time, I easily could have any ace or king of clubs in my hand and would want to go for a small bet and try to get better hands to fold. So with ace king offsuit with no club, I go for a $100 bet, and Sam the punter puts in the call, bringing in the 4 of hearts on the river. It's time to find out how good of a punter he is. He checks it over to me. I'm gonna go for a bluff with my ace high, trying to get him to fold any 1 pair type of hand. And when I stab here for $400, he makes a pretty quick fold. And of course, I have to show the bluff to the table. I then open up pocket 4s from the +1 position, and 3 players put in the call. Off the flop we go, which comes ace 8-6 with 2 clubs, and I start with a check out of position, and the action checks through. The king of diamonds peels off on the turn, and now I'm going to stab for $100. I don't really think anyone is checking behind on the flop with an ace in their hand, so at best here they have a hand like king queen, king jack, or maybe a club flush draw. Firing out for $100 gets me 2 customers. We got Gabe Davis and Dalton Kincaid, both putting in the call, bringing in a board pairing 6 of spades on the river. When Dalton checks it over to me for a 3rd time, gonna continue with this bluff here and try to get better hands to fold. What better hands could they have? Maybe stuff like 8-9, maybe a weak king, or maybe a hand like pocket 7s or pocket 9s. So either way, I'm gonna fire out here for $400 into the $500 pot. Gabe gets out of the way pretty quickly, but Dalton is a little bit suspicious, and he's gonna end up turning over his cards before making a decision.
Turn off the cameras!
Put the pressure on him.
I don't know if I'm gonna call yet or fold.
I think he's got an
Raise pre-flop. So you could very well have ace king, ace queen, ace
What do you
10.
think? You're talking it out
This
right
is
now.
great analysis.
Yeah.
Speaking out loud right now. I'm beat by king queen, king jack. What if he's trying to 7 deuce me though? You would have bet way more to 7 deuce.
You wanna see it?
I could wait to see on the vlog. I'll see it right now.
You wanna see it now?
Oh, the dirty boys!
That was some top level analysis there from Dalton. Ultimately though, he does in fact make the wrong fold, but if being a tight end doesn't work out for him in the future, I probably could plug him up with the Hustler or Poker Go and be a commentator on a stream. Nice hand, Dalton. Alright, wrapping up the session with 2 hands to go, we look down at pocket kings from the button and make it $75 to go over a bunch of limps. Greg, number 62 on the O-line, puts in the call. That means we are going heads up in position to a flop, which comes ace, king, deuce, bang, we flop middle set. Greg checks it over to me, and I go for a small bet of $100. He puts in the call, and that brings in the jack of diamonds on the turn. He now leads out into me for $200, which seems like he's trying to set a price for a flush or a straight draw. If he has any sort of 2 club combos or a hand like king queen, jack queen, it would just be a great price, $200 to see a river, and I'm just not going to let that happen. So I look over at his stack and I want to play for all of it and jam it all into the middle. Ultimately though, the Rocket decides not to blast off here and put the rest in the middle, folds his cards but asks to see the river, which comes the ace of diamonds. We would have filled up and had a boat, and are taking down that $1,600 pot, bringing us into the last hand of the night. It's copy and paste here in Buffalo. I look down at the kings once again from the button straddle, and this time I make it $125 to go. Gabe, Tyler, and Dalton all want this smoke, putting in the call, leading us off 4 ways to a flop, which comes king, 3, deuce, bang, we flop top set. Back-to-back kings, back-to-back set of kings. How can this night get any better? The action checks over to me, and what kind of guest would I be just taking everybody's money without giving them a chance to catch up? So I check it behind, bringing in the 10 of hearts on the turn. Will anyone take the bait here and bet out into me? Yes. Remember funny guy Tyler? Yes, he bets out for $15 here into the $500 pot, and that gets rid of Dalton from the cutoff. Remember, he's still on his rookie contract, so $15 might hurt the pocket just a little bit. When the action's on me, I'm not going to just put in $15 here. I got to raise it up to $125 and charge these hooligans the maximum. However, that's not going to get rid of Gabe. He puts in the call, and Tyler's out of there like swimwear, folding his cards, bringing in the river, which comes the king of clubs. Bang, we river quads. I told you guys earlier, I haven't been skipping leg day. Quads twice in one session. What is our luck? Gabe checks it over to me. There's 765 in the middle. It's going to be pretty hard for him to have any sort of good hands on this board when you have both the kings locked up. Hoping he has pocket tens, that would be the next best hand available. I think I should go large here and try to make it look like a bluff. I think that's my best chance to get paid off here, so I fire up for $700, trying to make it look like a miss heart draw or just something else that he's going to convince himself with and put the money in.
And give him the same treatment we gave Mr. Kincaid. He's cutting out chips.
Puts me in a tough spot. I feel like you don't have the king.
Wow, what a fold from the professional. For the people. Wait.
After a great fold from Gabe, we pick up the action here in what is Marsh's largest hand of his life, a nearly $5,000 pot, Marsh versus Spencer, and he's gonna hold and scoop that one in. I had to throw it onto the channel here for one of my best friends, and with that being said, we rack up our chips, exchange them in for some cash. This is how they bundle them here in Buffalo. End up tipping out the dealer, not before grabbing a few pictures with some of the guys at the game, and that's gonna bring us here to the outro. Alright you guys, that wraps up, in my opinion, the best video I've ever posted on my channel. You guys can let me know down below what you thought of the editing from my editor Lucas. Absolutely insane. And I've never spent more time on an audio in my entire life. I was up till 4 in the morning doing this audio, and normally I just take around 1 to 2 hours on it. So yeah, a lot of effort went into this one, and I hope you guys can appreciate it. I first off wanted to say a huge shout out to Gabe Davis and Dalton Kincaid for being fans of the vlog, hitting me up and wanting me to come out and getting permission for me to film all of the content you guys just watched. Huge shout out to them, and also thank you to everyone else on the team that was there. That was super cool with being in the video. I know when I win a hand, sometimes I put a pinwheel on your forehead and it can be a little bit annoying, but it's all in good sport, and definitely appreciate you guys being super cool with it. Now, the second thing I wanted to say is you guys probably saw by now the cool merch that I made to give away to the players, but I also want to give you guys, the fans, a chance to purchase it as well, because I literally come out with 0 merch, so I figured I gotta make some for you as well. Super cool with like the Wolfgang on the side. We got a design on the back. Now these are very expensive because I made these on Elwood blanks. They're made in LA and just a super high price point even to make the item. So I think I have like 4 or 5 of those left. If you guys want them, they're first come first serve on the website. Link is down below. I also made some more budget friendly ones on still very good blanks, very high quality pieces, but a little bit cheaper if you guys want to purchase those for the holidays. Get them in any size that you want. That link is down below at wolfgangpoker.com. Now, how do we do in the video? Well, as you can see, I am now a bona fide Buffalo Bills fan. We got the Chicago Bears sign back there, but we need a few more years until we're relevant. So I'm a Bills fan for now, as long as people on the team keep watching my videos. But we got in for 2K, out for 10.3, a profit of just north of $8,000. Honestly, if I would have lost in the session, that would have been more than fine. I was just super stoked to be there and playing with a lot of people I had on my fantasy team a few years ago. So that was a very cool experience. I made 8,300 and can't complain about that. Hopefully they invite me back. And speaking of which, I am coming back end of December. Rampage and I are going back out to Buffalo to play in the game again, see a football game, maybe go skiing a little bit. So if you're in the Buffalo area and you want to catch a beer, get some wings, or maybe even just go to Casino Niagara, no promises, but I'll definitely respond to your comment in my Instagram DMs if you want to hit me up there. It's just Wolfgang Poker on Instagram. Once again, huge shout out to my editor Lucas for putting together this masterpiece. Huge shout out to everyone on the Bills for being super cool. And good luck on the felt, you guys. Please like and subscribe. This video is my favorite one by far. Good luck on the felt. I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace.
Is that Wolfgang Poker?